Hey everybody, Duff here, and I'm sitting in the Prius, and those of you that saw the video from yesterday, you might have the idea that that might not be a good thing. And you would be right. And the reason for that is this. Well, isn't that interesting? That's very interesting. Alright, I just need to collect my thoughts for a second. Basically, what happened was I took the Prius to work this morning, and somewhere between 10 and 15 miles into my drive, the red triangle of death returned. And as you can imagine, I wasn't happy. But the symptoms were different than the last time. When this happened on Friday, the triangle light came on, and I think 3 other yellow warning lights came on as well. And this time it was just the red triangle of death and the check engine light. Those are the only 2 lights that came on this time. And the vehicle was still driving normally. The battery display looked normal. It was the power level felt normal, so it drove fine, but that warning light was on. So obviously something was still wrong. So I reached out to the installer that did my work yesterday, and I told him, because I'm not sure how much I detailed it in the video, but after he connected the battery the first time, he did have a problem with that light coming back on, and to address it, he reseated the hybrid battery service plug, and I'm going to demonstrate what that is in a second. But he basically did that. He reset the car by unplugging the 12-volt battery for a period of time, and it was fine. So, but anyways, I let him know what was going on, telling him that the light was back, and he advised me to try to reset that plug myself and report back to him what's going on. So, but lo and behold, I pulled into the driveway, turned the car off, come back here to video the process, and the red triangle of death has disappeared, and the check engine light. I didn't do anything other than turn the car off. So it's very strange, because the light came on the way to work today. The light was on when I took the car to the gym. The light was on the whole way home, and I get home and it's now off. So I'm a little confused. Okay, so all I just did just now is I backed down the driveway, took it off the angle of the driveway, just backed it down without turning it off, put it in park, and now the check engine light is on. Interesting. Okay, so now I've turned it off again. We're going to turn it back on, and let's see what happens. Okay, no red triangle of death. I guess that's good. Okay, so let me just quickly cover one thing that I was going to check as well while doing this. I've read before that when your conventional 12-volt battery starts to go bad on a Prius, it can cause all sorts of unpredictable behavior, just all kinds of weird symptoms. So I looked up online, and I found that there's an easy way to check it. Like if you don't have a voltmeter and you don't feel like futzing around to get to the battery, which is in the passenger side trunk, this is a way that you can check your battery level. Okay, first thing, press the power button twice. Okay. Next thing, hold down the info button. All right. Holding it down, and then you turn the lights on and off 3 times. 1, 2, 3. All right. Now you are presented with a different looking screen that you would not see otherwise. This is a system check mode. So to check the battery level of your 12-volt battery, you hit the menu button, and then you go to display check. And then you go to vehicle signal check. and in there it will tell you what your battery level is. So my battery is currently reading 11.9 volts. Well, I did this at work as well, and I checked it at work. It was 11.5. If I put like the lights on, let's see, it mentions to like do things that create drain to see how well the battery holds juice. So putting the lights on dropped it 0.2 volts. So the battery isn't terribly low, but it is slightly low. I've never changed a 12-volt battery since I've owned this, and it's been somewhere around 3 years. So thinking that's not a problem. It's not quite low enough to be a problem, but it's something I'm definitely going to keep my eye on. Okay, I've got my Autel code reader here. It seems to work with most check engine codes, but it's, for whatever reason, when the car goes into the state with the red triangle of death, it does not seem to read those codes for some reason. It doesn't, I can't get numbers for that air condition for some reason, but I am curious what codes it will see right now, since it's just showing a check engine light and not the red triangle of death. So for those of you that are not aware, the ODB2 connector port is down here somewhere. There you go. All right, so now we got our code reader up, and let me just hit the button once to get into accessory mode. We're gonna hit menu. Oops. Okay, I still have no red triangle of death. Let me just turn the car on for a second. Okay, but I do still have a check engine light. So I'm gonna go into diagnostics. Okay, one check engine light found. It's weird, it shows two control modules. So let's check the first one. Manufacturer specific codes are found. Oh boy, this is a pain. I've had to do this before. Okay, we'll cut all this out. All right, so it's in the list almost. There we go. Right above Volvo. P1121. Yeah, it's weird. It says here at accelerator pedal position sensor range performance problem. But what, if you look it up, what that code actually means is a stuck coolant control valve, or a problem with it. And I've had that. This is now the third time I've seen that. I've had it twice. I've cleared it, and it hasn't come back for a couple months, several months, and now that's back again. But it's interesting. It has nothing to do with the hybrid battery at all. So I'm going to escape out of there. See if there's any codes here on the second one. No codes. Wow. So that's weird. My red triangle of death went away without me resetting it, because from what I understood, you can't normally clear that. It doesn't go away usually once that clicks off. But it seems to have totally cleared itself. That's really strange. Alright, well then what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear this 1121 air again. Alright, now my check engine light is off. Okay, so we're going to now return to the hill part of the driveway. We're going to park it, and I'm going to check that service connector module thing and see what that looks like. One other thing I wanted to check, so I've been looking at a lot of videos about this problem, and one video mentioned about fixing the problem for $1. He had a red triangle of death, and what he indicated his problem was is he actually had water leaking in this area. But I'm confused because he said that his car had a rubber seal here originally, and this doesn't look like this ever had a rubber seal in this spot. But he basically just siliconed this joint, and it got rid of the water. And the reason that I said, is I've noticed always when I back out, like if I park the car on the hill and I back it out from this position, there's always a path of water that comes out of the car when it's up on that hill and I back it down. And I always thought, okay, well, it's just AC overflow. But now I'm wondering, after I saw that video, what the deal is. So I'm going to take this stuff apart here, and I'm just going to basically take a closer look at things, as well as trying to make sure that that module is in the right position for the hybrid battery. So, you know, you just take this cover out, and this big plastic tray here just lifts out. Super easy. Oh, looks like they forgot to put this back in for some reason. That is the cover for this. This isn't in there so great either. Okay. So now when I look at my 12-volt battery, that looks like an original Toyota battery to me. And I already looked up the process of removing that. It's obviously a little bit more involved than a conventional battery, but it's not too bad. But really what I'm looking at, what the installer told me to do first, not really. That's the vent for the hybrid battery. I'm just looking at details of how they installed stuff here. And as you can imagine, things are not perfect. Okay, so what he recommended that I try is to disconnect the 12-volt battery and remove the service plug. But the point of disconnecting the battery was to clear the red triangle of death, and it is no longer on, so I'm going to not do that and try to instead remove this plug. So what I read was, it's a little tricky. This is a common thing that's missed when people replace their hybrid battery, and these guys do it so much I can't believe that they would have a problem with this. But basically you push up and then pull it out like that, and that releases the hinge, and then this orange plug comes out. This is the service plug. This basically disconnects the hybrid battery, and when you put it back in, it reconnects the system. This is a way to basically kill the car. So let's see if we can get this back in. And it's hard to see, so I guess I could see why it would be problematic. You're just kind of doing it by feel when you've never done it before. Come on, sucker. So anyways, like when they had problems yesterday after installing the battery, what they had to do was they removed and reinserted this, and that's what he thought the problem was, and it worked okay afterwards. So alright, there we go. It feels like that's in. Yep. Okay, that is in. So you push it in, but then down like that, and that's what actually locks it in place. Okay, it feels pretty good. So I was surprised how easy it is to get access to that, at least. Replacing the whole hybrid battery, it's a lot more involved because like all this trim stuff has to come out. But the actual orange safety plug there can be accessed very easily. All right, let's see what happens now. All right, that looks normal. So I guess next step is to, I'm going to put the stuff back together in the back there and go for a little bit of a test drive. Yeah, so I can foresee a 12-volt battery being in my future at some point. This piece here is a pain in the ass to get back in, so I guess that's why the installers didn't really try too hard to get it in. I wonder if this is easier to put in when you take this tray out. It probably is. So let's try that. Look at that. Okay. Here you go. You want this to fit well, take the tray out. If you want it to fit poorly, don't take the tray out. And we will replace the tail light covers that were left out for some reason. I was wondering where this thing was. Now I know. Alright. Okay, the car once again started up just fine. Back up. Yeah, you see that trail of water there? Look at that. Can you see that? It has to be just from the AC, I guess. Has to be, huh? Oh, the beeping's driving me crazy too. Okay, I'm gonna take a test drive very similar to yesterday. Like I said, it was somewhere close to 10 miles, not quite. And on my drive to work, it failed somewhere after 10 miles, so it might not be quite long enough, but let's see what happens. It's a weird thing with Priuses, you know, because generally speaking, they're very reliable, but there's some aspects to them that are extremely touchy, and the things related to the battery are one of them. All kinds of weird stuff can happen when your battery is not in good shape. 12-volt or hybrid. Alright, there's my real-time energy meter. And battery levels only showing 2 bars, but that's not that abnormal when you first start it up. At least it's been my experience with this car, so let's see how it goes. Okay, I'm at my turnaround point. I just reset my odometer so I can see how far it's gone. So far so good. No red triangle of death. Okay, that test drive wasn't quite as long as I thought it was. It was only between 3 and 4 miles each direction, so it was probably you know, maybe a 7-mile test drive, 6-mile test drive. But I have no triangle, no check engine light. So I guess this is going to be kind of a wait and see sort of thing. See how it goes tomorrow. If I can get through the entire day tomorrow, my normal commute without that coming on, I guess I'll feel better about things. But I have a year warranty, so something does go wrong, they'll take care of it. The installer that I was texting with today, he reassured me that, you know, if there's an issue, they will fix it. So I'm hoping what it did here will fix it. We'll see. But that's all I got for you for now. If you found this video helpful, interesting, entertaining, please give a big thumbs up. If this is your first time on the channel, please consider subscribing. And that's all I got for you for now. Till next time, Duff and the Red Triangle of Death out. Who is it? Elsa. 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 Okay, we are all in the Ionic. We're taking Elsa for a very quick ride. Things you do for your animals.
She wouldn't get in the car without me.
And Cindy's holding an egg.
I just had to show Sean. We got a football egg.
It's quite large.
Does that mean the Eagles will win the game?